Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch Obi-Wan Kenobi season 1, the only season, episode 6. If you want to see my reaction videos about the last episodes, I'm gonna put the links right there. I'm really excited for this episode. I don't know why particularly this one, you know? Maybe because the last one really pleased me a lot. Not only because we had that flashback with Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting like that and it was a shock, and at the same time we were expecting moments like that, and at the same time it came from nowhere, and I loved the fact that it was Darth Vader who was remembering this moment. It was not Obi-Wan thinking of Anakin like it was the case during the beginning of the season. Right there it was Anakin remembering Obi-Wan. Okay, Obi-Wan is haunted by Anakin, but Anakin is also haunted by Obi-Wan. That was really well done, you know, that was really clever to put it like that. And yes, I appreciated it a lot, and we had moments of actions, and we had finally the reveal about Riva. Okay, we all guessed what was happening with Riva, the fact that she was one of the younglings, and all of that, but the fact that we discovered it, the fact that we discovered that she did all of that to be close to Darth Vader, to be able to kill him, but the fact that she didn't succeed, so she fought him, and she died. That's not really, not for sure, and maybe before that she can communicate with people. Make allies come for Obi-Wan right now and Leia, because they're on a ship with all of these people, but the other ones, they're gonna follow them, and maybe we're gonna have a spaceship battle. In a way, we have to have one, because we had fights, you know, like with the sabers, one against the other one. We had fights, people against people. We have to have a space battle, like at some point. I think that it's gonna happen, and I think that it could be the good moment for it. Why not? And why not Riva communicating to say that they're in danger? Like, again, right there, she's on the floor, she's hearing that message, parts of this message. She's not gonna go to Darth Vader saying, "Ooh, I betrayed you, I tried to kill you, but now I'm okay, we can still be friends, see, I have some information." And him is gonna be like, "Oh, you gave me this information, so now we can be friends again." He never considered her as an ally, he knew the truth about her since the beginning, and they were just using her, like they made that so clear that I don't think that for Riva to do that is possible, for Darth Vader to react like that is possible. Also with the situation with Anakin and Leia, with the ship and all, I think that it could be a good solution, a good way to deal with the situation, so I'm voting for that. I hope that I'm right. If I'm wrong, it's bad. We don't want Darth Vader to have these informations about a boy, a girl, on Tatooine, like that. We don't want that. I wanted also to talk about one of you who asked me into the comments of the last episode to rate this show. And you know that for me it's really rough to put a rate, you know, really for a show, 7, 8, you know, on 10. Stuff like that. I think that it's between that, but I'm not even sure. I prefer to give opinions about stuff, and for me, for now, this show is giving me everything that I expected, and in a better way that I expected it. I think that really the Book of Boba Fett not traumatized me, but disappointed me a lot. Now with time, you know, after some weeks after the end of the Book of Boba Fett, I can really say now that it was a failure. What they did with it, what they wanted to do with the show, it's a failure. I'm not saying that each episode is bad and all, but it's a failure, because the episodes that we preferred from the Book of Boba Fett, it's the episode with the Mandalorian, and only the Mandalorian, because Boba Fett was not even there, and The moments that I have in mind with Boba Fett, they are not so interesting, and again for me they should have said that it was only a spin-off of one season to say what happened to Boba Fett, and that was all, you know, to make the connection also between seasons for The Mandalorian, and that's it, you know, to not try to make an entire show only for Boba Fett, and to imagine that we're gonna make other seasons around him. I don't see how it can work. So yes, I expected, you know, that we would have Obi-Wan, we would have Anakin, we would have Darth Vader, stuff like that, but I didn't expect that they would make it such in a good way, you know. I was so glad to see that they didn't make the mistakes that they did with the Book of Boba Fett, and really they are respecting the DNA of the show, but also the rhythm of the story for the entire season, and the musics are great, and they are paying attention to the pictures, and everything is good. And the only default that I find to this show is the fact that we are not exploring enough the subject, you know, around Obi-Wan, and the fact that he's haunted about what happened with Anakin. For me, it could have been the central subject of this show, you know, the main narrative arc, and in fact the main narrative arc is the fact that Anakin is hunting Obi-Wan, when for me it should be about Obi-Wan fighting with his demons, fighting with what happened with Anakin. Like, I want more about that, about him also, you know, changing. Because of that, we are seeing it a little each time, some minutes, but it's not enough, and it's during another action moment. I want really scenes only for that. I think that the show should be around that, so the show deserves that, the character deserves that. In fact, you know, the entire story, the big story deserves that. It's so important for the characters, for the story and all. That's the only default, you know, that I find, the fact that we are not spending enough time to explore that subject with Obi-Wan. I have some hope, you know, that it's gonna come like they promised, in a way that at some point he would reach his master. And with also the last episode, Anakin thinking about that fight between him and Obi-Wan, they are going a little deeper with that, so at some point I think that we're gonna have it, but I wanted to have it more. For this episode and for the last ones, you know, that we're gonna have, now we need to get closer to the resolution, to the end of that spin-off of one season, which means that we need to have that about Obi-Wan, who is gonna reach his mentor, who is gonna succeed to get over, you know, the situation with Anakin, to make peace with himself, to find the Force again, you know, the way again, to find his face again, himself again. We need to have the resolution for that for Obi-Wan's character. We need to have Leia back with his family. The fact that we finished the last episode discovering the face of Luke, I don't know what it means, because for me, at any point, we can have some of the characters, you know, that we have right now meeting Luke, like, no, with how it's gonna happen, you know, in the future, the story, the one that we know, he can never know what is happening around him, right there, all of what is happening. So I don't know why really they showed him, we'll see. For sure we're gonna have news about River. I want to have other allies, you know, coming. I was gonna say new allies on the show, but not new allies, you know, like we're not gonna meet for the first time these persons. It would be good, you know, to have some people from the big story coming on screen, you know, as allies, helping Obi-Wan, like, hey, where were you? Like, we missed you, we're there to help you. I don't know if it's possible, but I want to see some faces, you know, some people. I know that we can't have all of them, and maybe not the main ones, just because, you know, to have them for 2 minutes into a show like that, it's a lot of money. And with all of the casting that we already have, I'm not sure, you know, that we can pay for all of the other ones just for 1 or 2 minutes. But I would appreciate it. Or maybe in some flashbacks, you know, maybe you can include some flashbacks. I'm gonna stop this intro right now. Let's go for this episode. Remember that if you want to have my Patreon on which you can have these episodes earlier, sooner during the day, and with an extended off reaction part. I only put extended reaction part so far. Each time I can't know in advance, you know, what I'm gonna put. It's really depending on how much I'm reacting in front of an episode, so check the description to know that. And it's the best way to support me, Patreon. You can see that I'm a little reactor. So yes, if you want to support me, you have my Patreon. You can also support me right there by subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, that kind of stuff. It helps for YouTube. A little, really a little, but it helps still. Let's go for this episode 6. I'm saying it each time. These opening credits, they are putting me into a mood, you know, like...
Something you want to say? I have something.
You're on Assant?
Wait your turn.
You're there? I mean, by yourself you managed to get out? Oh yeah. She didn't reach for help like I thought, something which could help us. On the contrary, she's searching for information. I said it! Space battle! We have to have one.
Power comes so bad. We're working on it, but those shields won't last forever. How much time do you need?
What can you do? All of them are afraid.
They're scared. She keeps their minds off of it.
Maybe I should borrow her too. Hurry.
No, we know for Luke.
We need a new belt for this, Peter.
Certainly somebody broke last something I need to know.
Warn him.
No way! You can't just leave me here!
I'm the one that Vader won't.
You've spent 10 years protecting the Jedi. This is my chance to return that favor. But we're so close.
But we need you.
It'll buy you the time you need. You must get these people out of here.
We need
You
you,
are
they
all the
say.
future. You are the future. Leia.
I'm fine. She needs to be given space. You must promise me that you get her home, Archer. You have my word.
Thank you.
Although I know the word of a liar and a fake Jedi may not mean much to you, it's good enough for me.
Now it's enough for me also.
How did she know I was here?
No, all I know is she's coming. Ben is gone.
What is that? Where now? You and me.
Yes?
She'll come when the suns go down. That's our position now.
You're brave! For sure you are. I admire that, but is it enough?
I talked to her. You're welcome. Please tell your father I tried. She would have wanted you to have it.
It's empty.
But I wasn't going to give you a blaster layer.
No.
You're 10 years old. But you won't always be.
We met her at each age, each period of time. Sweet girl. Indeed that.
I promise.
Don't worry. We know. We know!
I have to face Sin Master. Whether he dies or I do, this ends today.
Can you reach him?
You ready? Dropship's all set.
At some point he's gonna reach him.
To do this, you want to do it. It's about you and him.
This entire show is...
There are not many leaders left. People follow you. Don't stop.
You're a good man.
Just get started.
Cool. That's what I wanted! I want more about Obi-Wan and Anakin's relationship.
That's it. We cannot prioritize one lone Jedi. He is not just
Watch him.
Jedi.
Anakin is also haunted by Obi-Wan. We saw that during the last episode.
Stand here. If anything goes wrong, you know what to do. You run.
I'm not afraid.
For sure you're not. They're gonna succeed. I mean, we know. Come on! Each time I'm like, no, come on. Music.
Prepare my ship and we'll face him alone.
Yes, please. That's what we want. That's what this show is about. I'm really fighting, like, we know, and at the same time...
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
Let's talk first.
I will do what I must.
No, really no talk. Okay.
Then you will die.
We know that none of you is gonna die at the end of this fight, so what? What is gonna happen? I don't understand. What they're gonna do with that scene, what they want. If they're not talking, I don't understand if it's just a fight. I don't understand the purpose, the meaning of that moment.
Strength has returned,
Yes.
but the weakness still remains.
Because you lost face. Because of you! Find yourself again, Obi-Wan. Find face again.
That is why you will always lose.
What the fuck?
Did you truly think that you could defeat me,
Can you truly think that you just killed him?
Master?
Okay, that's how it ends, that fight, because you think that you killed him. How did you survive, Obi-Wan?
You really love a boy. Like he's your own.
He is my own.
Don't worry.
What do you want?
Justice.
You what? You want justice for what Darth Vader did by killing his kid? You didn't understand things. You missed a big thing right there. Fight that, Obi-Wan. Leia and Luke. He found face again. You're strong because you are face and up. Because of Leia and Luke. But Obi-Wan, you're not gonna... Music. His mask! Are you gonna see his face?